I'm back here. I hope you had a good time. We have had in the past two sessions. And in this one, I would like to just sort of summarize what we have covered and then ask some specific questions for you to mull over and think over and take actions on that one. We talked about what are the different groups. We have talked about natural and formed and natural settings, that is the environment in the gangs or in the community. We have talked about forms in groups, whether it is in a healthcare setting or school, social work, and that kind of things. Then we have talked in the second session, we talked about some of the activities or programming, how it is used in group work. Then we are also talked about during the formation of group, we talk about size and composition and the specific needs of these individuals. Now today what I would like to do is I would like to give you a few questions in the form of exercise. If you are going to form a group of youngsters who are unable to control their impulse, in other words, they do any kind of a behavior which is disruptive when and how they think, without thinking about it, whatever comes to mind, they think about it. The teacher is talking, they interrupt. The teacher is doing some things and they walk around and disrupt the class by going to another fellow student. They don't listen to the teacher. The two or three of the kids become as a clique and disrupt the group. Now that is, let's say, that is a group which you have got it in hand and you are supposed to form and have some kind of a intervention which could be helpful for them to see their behavior. Okay. What my suggestion would be, if I was asked this question to do and form the group, I would like the person who is referring me these children to give me a referral, a written referral, in which I would like to have a specific description of the youngsters. I would like to have a specific write-up about the children, in what way they are disruptive. I would like them to focus on what makes them. Why am I asking this question? Many times youngsters, even us, let's imagine that you go to a public lecture and you do not understand what the speaker is saying. You get bored. What do? You get up, you fidget in your chair, you cough, you talk to your neighbor. The same thing. Many times children do not understand what the teacher is talking about. So that means you might have to say that whenever the teacher is going to go into an advanced material, that maybe these children become very frustrated, they become bored, and that's when they start becoming disruptive. Okay, so that's one way you can diagnose it or assess it. I don't like the word diagnosis. Assessment is a comprehensive thing without labeling the person. Now, the other thing which might have to do is this at that time, that I might decide, now I have not talked about it in the last two tapes, but today I'm going to bring you another concept, that many times for doing these children and understanding them, who can give you better information? It's not just the teacher, it's the parents. So sometimes these parents might have to be encountering this difficult behavior from these kids at home more than what this teacher have to do it in the 6 hours a day. Parents are frustrated, so you might bring them in as a group and saying that we are starting a group for working for the parents as a support for the children who have got this learning difficulties and learning challenges. Now, mind you, I must say that you have to be very careful about it. Confidentiality is very important in this kind of things, because these kinds of information, even though people know it, it doesn't need to become public by saying that this is a group of educationally challenged kids, special needs kids, and this is the parents who are these parents of these children have. The other part of it is that you have got to recognize, again, the emphasis is that size is related to what you want. If you want to intense relationships with the group, then you will have a size which is not too big to not get that kind of a required and needed group dynamics. I would not have it too small, like 2 or 3 group members. That is not really a very effective group work. They can have a more of too intense, and many members many times cannot tolerate it. Now, and lastly, before we conclude, you have got to also recognize that larger the size, there are more chances of subgroup formation. That this is where cliques and coalitions of things. Today we have talked about youngsters. Now we can talk the next time when we meet about specific population and specific board and how we intervene, and then also we can go on to some leadership skills. Thank you. Have a nice day.